Hello, people of the internet, and welcome to another episode of the Final Countdown.
Bum, bum, bum.
Yes, this is, of course, the monthly show where we count down the top 5 of whatever I feel like counting down that month. And if you've been watching us for the last, seven months or so, you're aware that 2017 has been our year of villains here on the Final Countdown. All our
Yep.
lists have been villain-related this year.
And if you have, you'd be the only one.
Yeah, pretty much. You might also be aware, given that this is August, if you watched the last month and a half, you might also be aware that this is our Summer of Disney. We are now at the end of our Summer of Disney, of course, which means that we are going to be wrapping it up with this video, which is our top 5 alternate Disney villains.
Sponsored by Mole's Award. Best of
An award can't sponsor things! It doesn't work that way.
Sponsored by my award.
Anyway.
Somehow made it worse.
You did. You found a way to make it worse. So yes, alternate Disney villains, we're defining this as being alternate versions of classic Disney villains like Maleficent, Jafar, what have you. But versions that are not strictly continuations of the original. So sequel films, obviously the originals don't count, and sequel films don't count. Any TV shows that are considered to be in continuity, even questionably so, don't count.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then any alternate, reversionings of the character, alternate versions that appeared in other media, what have you.
Basically a new take.
Yes, exactly. An interpretation, if you will.
Yep.
So.
And we also said side villains are allowed.
Yes. I did not do any side villains, but they were allowed.
I think I got 2.
Fair enough. So let's go ahead and, per the usual, we're going to go ahead and start with Mole at number 5.
I was prepared.
Yes!
Scar Tank. Get it? Be prepared. I was prepared.
Ah, I get it.
He doesn't care. Please leave a comment below explaining the joke to him. And yeah. This is Scar the Tank, as your people cosplaying as Disney characters trying to kill him. It's technically not Scar, but technically is at the same time. Only because basically what happened is this evil... there's like a virtual theme park. Evil escapes, corrupts the people in the park, and brings all the attractions to life.
Mm-hmm.
One of them happened to be Scar as a tank. Because, that famous Disney attraction of watches your kids get blown to bits by Be Prepared.
Yep. What game is this again?
Disney Universe on PS3.
Gotcha.
It's also on 360 and other consoles, but just in case people thought I was being that.
Yeah.
And Pew said, ha! / I'm back.
Okay, then.
Did you want to add the Pew? See if we can get her?
I can try. I mean, I can give her the link. We'll see if she shows up.
There is no try.
There is only do.
No. Do or do not. There is no try.
Anyway, back over to me.
And second of all...
Yes!
Don't know why I kept that as a gift, just for that sole purpose.
That's a perfect gift. I like it. Yeah. Supposedly that entire thing was very heavily scripted, except that one part where Reigns forgot his lines and then Cena had to improv a fourth wall joke.
What? You mean they didn't plan to make the guy we're trying to push suddenly seem exposed as a shit on the microphone and not worth your time? I'm shocked. I'm shocked.
I know. Hi, Pew. You're muted.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello, Bat Pew.
How's it going?
Bat Pew.
Yeah, I had to go to the pharmacy for some... Oh, by the way, Jim, did you know there's a freaking CVS inside Target?
I knew that they had a pharmacy. I didn't know it was a CVS.
It was a CVS inside Target. Like, this lady was, like, in the store, and I thought she was crazy. And I'm like, what are you talking about? And I swear...
the channel Star Trek's on?
Wait, what?
No, that's CBS. We're talking about CVS.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but anyway, I thought she was freaking crazy. Anyway,
That's crazy. I did not know that.
yeah.
Anyway, do you have a list or?
I do have a list.
Okay, well,
I'm
we
pulling it
just
up.
did Mole's number 5, so we'll let you go next.
Okay, so mine is Huck from Once Upon a Time. Cause goddamn, I really like him. I really like him so much. I mean, I obviously like Emma's first love interest more, but you know.
Hashtag Swanfire for life.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say which of her first love interests.
Oh, I was gonna say Bellfire, but you know.
Because technically, didn't she have a sort of a flirty on a? It's sort of like it looked like it was going somewhere with Pinocchio, but then he got wood too early.
But yeah, I can see what you're saying. And she also kind of looked like she was gonna have something with the sheriff, but then he died, and then you know.
Yeah. We're just gonna shoot with the sheriff because he was just Regina's sex slave. So
I know, but like it seems like he was breaking away from her after the thing, and it could have. Who knows what happened?
It was gonna be a thing, but then he had to go be Christian Grey. So
yeah. So anyway, I liked him. Killian, you know.
My favorite of her love interests, as much as I liked Hawk, I actually wanted to see Pinocchio. I liked Pinocchio.
Pinocchio
He was
is very
fucking
interesting.
awesome.
Yeah, Emma and August did have interesting chemistry.
I mean, he literally came in on a fucking motorbike. And then you're like, oh, cool, what character is this? Big Bad Wolf, blah, blah, and Pinocchio. What?
He's got typewriter and he makes stories and stuff, and he's fucking cool.
Yep.
And yeah, so.
Well, to be honest, if they had done him better, I might have. But the problem with is August is a really likable guy, but then he acts like an asshole to Emma for like her entire life.
Because he has to be. Well, not the part where he neglected her, but to be fair, that's his
he didn't have to say, the hell with this, I'm going to bang hookers in Thailand.
Yes, which I would argue isn't that part of his character, because he's meant to be really selfish.
That's true. And I guess it depends on where in his story he was at the time that everything went down. But anyway.
He was still a child, so you could argue that it's any point in that time. And really, do you really fucking expect a child to take care of a baby? I mean, come on, that's unrealistic.
No, but I would have thought he would have.
Why not? That's called parenting where you live.
Oh, he's not wrong. Anyway,
in the ghetto.
But yeah, you would think he would have at least had, at least in an older brother type capacity, and at least stuck around. Especially when he knew that she was like being shoved around to like a million foster homes and had no family.
Yeah, he knew she was being shoved into foster homes. He knew she was the chosen one. But here's the thing: he's 5. He doesn't give a shit.
No,
but 10 or whatever he is.
Yeah, he was 10, but then later on, he found her, warming her hands on a burning barrel under a bridge when he was like 16.
True, but he said everything he was doing was guiding her back slowly because she had to choose on her own to come back.
Yeah,
I suppose.
All right. So anyway, I like Tuck. He's super awesome. He's complex, but not like bullshit. Fucking Mr. Gold complex, but then not because he fucking rewrites his character every fucking season.
Yeah. Yeah. Hook actually evolved.
Yeah, and so it was really cool. Who was Mike's number? Oh, Mike. Mole's number 5, just for
Sure, Mole.
I already showed her on Twitter. It was Scar Tank.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. I will say on a side note, just because we were slightly discussing that, which that's always fun. I will say, Jim, I argue if Pinocchio hadn't been a dick, everyone would be dead.
There was an argument to be made there. You're right.
No, because the only reason the curse got broke is Emma made all those bad mistakes, and eventually one of them has to be fucking Little Gold. And that produces Henry, which is the whole reason the curse gets broken.
That is true.
If she hadn't done that, the curse would not get broken.
Fair enough. All right. So, my number 5. Focus on me. There we go. What do we got here? But okay, let's see here. The order of doing these.
Oh, by the way, Pew.
Uh-huh.
This show is sponsored by my award.
Okay.
That doesn't even make any goddamn sense.
Need a splash to read. It's still on your top.
It's a summer theme. People swim in the summer. God damn it.
It's something that you can sponsor. It's a theme, damn it. It's a gold giant penis looking thing. I thought you'd relate.
But anyway. So let's see. The order we're doing this. My number 5 is Cruella de Vil from the live-action movie,
Oh, fuck you.
Played by-
I had that one. Okay.
played by Glenn Close.
We probably got a lot of the same ones on our list going forward.
Yeah. Well, fuck you. I've got Hook coming up. Anyway, but yes, Glenn Close from the 101
Well,
Dalmatians
fuck you
live-action.
both. I had neither.
Yeah. On the 101 Dalmatians movie, because she really did a great job with that role. It's a category of talented actors who gave a batshit crazy performance. Which,
I will say she gave a fucking awesome performance in 101 Dalmatians. Terrible performance in 102.
I was gonna say in
Fair
102
enough.
it was weird and over the top.
Yeah,
and
I
crazy.
hated 102. I loved 101 so much. I wore out my VHS watching that live action one. I really did love that
Nice.
film. However, 102 I threw out.
It was like weird puppy heroes, and that guy who played the Fantastic Four thing, he was the main love interest guy, which is weird.
that is weird. But yes, Cruella, Glenn Close did an amazing job with the role. She captured the combination of both Cruella's cruelty, her love for furs and things, and just really made her seem sinister and intimidating and scary. And she really brought that to life well from the adapted from the original animated version. And I thought she just, the exorbitant costumes, the hair, she had the whole 9 yards. It was just a great interpretation of Cruella that I thought was really enjoyable.
She was.
All right.
I will say something you won't hear me say often.
Mhm.
I think I love that film. I think I actually preferred Once Upon a Time's Cruella.
That was
I
also
like
a great Cruella. I also thought about her.
Because she looked way more like her and had, and evolved slightly.
Yeah,
her
face she had more angled cheekbones and had more of the appearance. Yeah, and she got thrown off a cliff. Anyway,
but speaking of looking just like that, mine does none of that.
number 4.
Yep, like I said, speaking of things that look like them, mine did none of that.
Okay.
What made Darth Maul cool? Why did people love Darth Maul?
Because he was visually interesting and mysterious.
He had a double-bladed lightsaber and it was badass.
I'm going to say yes to both of those, and that's why I picked the hyena from Walt Disney World's Festival of the Lion King.
Ooh.
Literally, the guy dressed as Scar shows up and sings. A dude like that with the hyena comes in fucking wailing and juggling fucking flaming swords.
Nice.
And doesn't speak. He just dances around like doing all these martial arts with this dual-wielded flaming staff. I'm like, that's fucking cool. I found myself not watching Scar because I don't like humans as Scar. But I turned to him, just like, that's fucking awesome.
Nice.
So yeah, hyena, Festival of the Lion King.
That is cool.
Shumat's on everyone's list as well.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Pew, number 4.
Okay, my number 4 was Glenn Close from from
Devil Wears Prada.
Yeah, I'll put it back up for you.
Yeah, from like that. I just loved it so much. And there's this one scene. You ever seen the scene where she lies back on the fur and just kind of laughs like
Yes, that's so
That's
good.
like one of my favorite scenes. It's just like, oh yes, this is wonderful. Like I feel like that really captures her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They kind of tried to replicate that in the second movie when.
But that was fucking weird though.
Yeah.
Do you think they tried to replicate that in Suicide Squad with Joker and his knives? I think that's totally an homage to that scene.
Maybe.
I'm kidding.
No,
I
it's
do
not.
like that Joker before people think I'm doing the typical internet thing of it's DC. We must bash it straight away.
Yeah, but yeah, I love her. She's awesome. She's super cool and crazy. And I like how she posted on Twitter or whatever, or some kind of internet thing when the movie came out. How she had the puppies were scared of her, so she couldn't even like be near the puppies offset.
Yep.
Aw, poor puppies.
One thing we hadn't addressed on here, which I will mention, just because I went off on that little thing then. I will mention, I think the internet's kind of crazy for one major reason right now.
Okay.
The internet claims it doesn't like the DCEU. And then we get Martin Scorsese directing a Joker origin film that's not tied to the thing you hate. And the internet then slaps back with, boo, that's shit. Wow, he's one of the best directors of fucking all time, doing a crime drama about the Joker, which is going to be fucking amazing. And DC's left it open so people don't have to just do ones in their universe. They can tell stories that aren't connected. That's fucking awesome.
I'd watch it.
That film will be amazing.
That sounds cool. I'll have to watch that.
Bap you.
I
just love the back. You know?
Nice. Okay, so let's see. I think that's me for number 4 then, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
Although if she had a hood on that costume, she would totally look like Gwen Stacy, Batman.
That Gwen. All right, so
be thrown off a bridge.
So next up, because I mentioned them all, I only had 3 sources I pulled these from, so I have 2 that are from 2 sources.
And you're allowed multiple from the same source.
Yeah.
If you lack the love of Disney as made to have seen multiple stuff, that's fine. You can go ahead.
Yep. You've been to all those shows and Animal Kingdom and stuff. Like I said, I've only done a couple of day trips to the park, so you definitely have a park advantage over me by a lot.
That's one of mine. You've been to how many Broadway shows?
2 of which I went to 2 that are Disney. I went to 2 Disney Broadway shows. One of them was Aladdin, and Jafar's played by the dude that plays him in the movie. So that would kind of maybe count a little bit, and the other one was
it would still count because it's an alternate take.
True. And the other one was Man Scar, and let's see, I think we can all agree that Man Scar's kind of shit.
Don't say that. She has a name. Just call her Pew.
Ha! Anyway, honorable mention to Broadway Jafar. Fuck it. I know nobody has him.
I've never seen any Disney plays, although I've seen like at least maybe 7 Broadway plays.
Have you seen any of them on ice?
No.
On ice.
I don't like ice. It's too cold.
That is its purpose.
Yeah, wear your bat hoodie. You'll be warm.
But if you like ice, Pew, boy, do I have a WCW wrestler for you. You're gonna love me.
I don't like ice though. He's dead.
That was good.
He likes it because it's super relevant.
It is. Anyway.
Who's your number 3 or 4?
All right, so we're still on number 4 here. And my number 4, right there. It's Kingdom Keepers. I had to use the cover art.
Oh, okay.
That's Tia Dalma, whom you might know from the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. And Tia Dalma, I like that she was used in the Kingdom Keepers series because they used her in a way I would not have, in a really good way. Because they created this series with the concept of, okay, there's the Overtakers, they're Disney villains who, through belief in them, have come to life through some form of magic or another. Fair enough. But given that there needed to be ways for certain things to be explained, I like that they used Tia Dalma. And in some of the later books, when there's a reference to the past, they reference somebody who had similar abilities that they reference was probably a relative of hers. But anyway, they used Tia Dalma to basically, to use a comparison to a franchise I know, she's kind of the Finster of the Overtakers, as it were, to use a Power Rangers reference.
Oh, I thought you were making a reference to Rugrats.
No.
Yeah,
because Finster was the one second in command to the headmaster.
Kind of. Anyway, let's be real. Angelica was the headmaster. We all know this.
Recess for the win.
Yes. But anyway, Tia Dalma, of course, is portraying the Pirates movies as having some dark magic powers, and that's really heavily used here by explaining that she has ancestry as a voodoo and hoodoo not priestess, but
hoodoo?
that you do. No, literally, there's voodoo and hoodoo is a similar thing from the same area and time frame, but it's slightly different.
Okay.
The hoodoos are basically whatever the Grinch steps in as he comes down the mountain.
It wouldn't surprise me.
Fucking Hugh down.
It wouldn't surprise me. They throw all the garbage on his mountain. They probably throw all the shit on his mountain too. That's not here to there.
And in his film.
Yeah, Tia Dalma uses black voodoo magic, and they use that heavily over the course after introducing her in the course of the series for a number of purposes. That basically gives the Overtakers the ability to have, basically a way to have some type of semi-realistic magic. For example, in the original 7-book series, their primary goal is to wake up Chernobog, who is their leader, but he's in a state of hibernation. And so Tia Dalma is trying to use her magic to wake up Chernobog as they're trying to get to Disneyland so they can take it over once he's awake. And then they also... Oh, that's actually... I know it's hard to see from the image. That's actually a wolf.
Okay.
It's a big wolf thing.
Is that her pet thingy?
Something like that. She's sixing on them at one point. Some type of voodoo thing. Anyway, so basically, what they use, and then later in the follow-up trilogy, the Kingdom Keepers, The Return, basically, she actually uses her voodoo magic to resurrect Maleficent after she's been defeated. It's not Maleficent as we knew her because obviously it's not perfect magic, so it's using like some bones that she got and some other. It's literal voodoo magic.
Necromancy.
Kind of, yeah.
I'm gonna say two things. One, are you plugged in?
Yes.
Okay, because you were broken up a bit during part of that.
Okay, sorry about that.
And the second thing, just to make a really great pop culture reference right now, I'm going to say the old Maleficent can't come to the phone right now. Why? Because she's dead. Boom.
Yeah.
I'm guessing Jim that reference to put right over Jim's head.
Yeah, I don't get it.
New Taylor Swift song. Literally, there's a line in there where she speaks and she's like, the old Taylor can't come to the phone right now. Why? Because she's dead. And everyone loves that. It's like the whole video's got like an army of all the various Taylor Swifts from her previous films. Well, videos.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's cool. It's a cool concept, cool song.
That is a cool concept. I'll listen to that later. Anyway, so yeah, she uses her black magic in addition to aiding the villains after they initially pick her up in I think it's the 3rd book where they're on the Disney Cruise Line. They end up picking Tia Dalma up on the way to Disneyland, and they make it to
based on the fact that it's 2017. Shouldn't it be her African American magic?
Anyway, as I was saying, basically she uses the dark voodoo magic to resurrect Maleficent in basically using some bone fragments. She's got like this shambling like zombie Maleficent. It's really fucking creepy as it's described anyway. And so they end up having this unique situation. And so she's able to kind of use her powers to kind of support the Overtakers and give them an in to use some real magic to support the powers that are inherent in the characters' existences. And I thought that was a really good use of her. And even continuing to leave the door open because in the very last book here, the review of which you can see currently on this channel, there is actually at the very end, one of the scenes is the Maleficent is finally defeated for the last time, and they see a vulture fly away that nobody had seen there before, and nobody sees Tia Dalma. So they left Tia Dalma alive and getting away. So if they ever wanted to continue the series, they have an in for how any given Overtakers could come back. Tia Dalma's still out there with her abilities. So they just really did a good job using her, making her really scary and making her into a real threat and a villain that she never really was in Pirates of the Caribbean, because she did some moon magic to help them get Jack Sparrow out of Davy Jones' locker and a few other things. And it was revealed that she was secretly the sea goddess Calypso. But it's really just, I think they used her as a full villain as opposed to just a semi-villain in the movie. So I thought they did a really good job with her in the book series.
Yeah, I think the movies was more the behind-the-scenes twist of a villain. So she was actually pulling the strings the whole time. We just didn't realize it, which those villains do work. But well, now that you know she's a villain, you might as well just go full out.
Exactly. So there you go.
And Disney Infinity used her as basically the mission thing to tell you what missions to do as you were Jack Sparrow.
Oh, that's interesting. Okay. Anyway, Mole.
Sounds like the book used her better.
Yeah. Mole, number 3 we're on. Yeah, 3.
Car from the Jungle Book.
Nice.
Because I love what she did with the voice. Yeah, people will mention probably the song at the end, which was okay. I like the song, but just her acting as the snake with the hypnotic voice and stuff, the way she did it, it sounded cool. The snake was cool, and you were like, what? You found yourself just listening to the snake, if that makes sense. Which, fun fact, that's totally what got Eve in trouble. Biblical joke. But yeah. So Car from Jungle Book. Over to you, Pew, for your number 3.
Okay. I hope this counts.
Just because Drew's not around and I'm the guy with the award.
Okay, I hope this counts.
Award.
Yeah, I got it. I'm gonna go with Brer Fox from Song of the South in the Splashdown ride.
I'll allow it.
Okay, just because I like all the cute shorts where he's like doing all like silly nefarious things, but they're kind of like sometimes like it'll be like he'll be like or other times he'll be like at the end where he's like gets stuck in this hole with the bear who's his like companion in evil, and they get stuck and he's like, oh whoa, and it's just like cute little shorts of him like kind of being like on the nose like evil stuff for all the little stages you go before the giant splashdown.
Nice.
So that's what I go for, because it's really cute, and it's just kind of like, and you know what, it's from the Song of the South, which most people won't really remember anymore because Disney tries to erase.
Yep. I will say, I really hope the camera swaps over to you.
Oh, I hope so. It might not, because our other dude is not here, and he's hiding.
Yeah, he had to go AFK.
Mm-hmm.
But because he's in control of the camera, if he pointed it on me, there's a good chance when you spoke then the whole time would just be my reaction shot, like one of those stupid ass reaction videos you get on YouTube.
Like the whole reason that you go down to
let's face it,
okay.
Let's face it, everyone fucking hates reaction videos.
Pretty much.
But yay, Jim's back.
Okay, make sure it's the camera's on me if it's not ready.
Yep, camera's now on you. My apologies. My mother's in the hospital. And
Like
I had to answer that phone call.
The whole reason Splashdown is why you go down to the thorns is because Brer Fox is about to throw Brer Rabbit into the thorns. So
I thought she came back.
What?
I thought you were picking her up.
They kept her an extra day.
Ah, okay.
Anyway, so yeah, he's kind of quintessential to the film, and you get to see all those little animated shorts on the ride.
Okay, so what did I miss?
Oh, I chose Brer Fox from the Splashdown ride specifically.
Nice, good choice.
And I explained why Car from Jungle Book was awesome.
Splash Mountain, yep, that's a good ride. I haven't been on it, but everybody raves about that ride.
Yep, it is awesome.
I know. And you had Casa, which was very good.
And also, I'm just gonna see because I have it at a yard sale. The Brer Rabbit, see?
Aw. Gotta be moving along. Time to be moving along.
Silly rabbit, tricks are for kids. Oh wait, wrong rabbit.
Yeah. Here's a fun fact. 2 of the characters in that attraction are voiced by Jess Harnell.
Another fun fact for you. One of those actors from that ride hung themselves.
Really?
I don't know. Could be true.
Anyway.
Oh my god.
And now he lives in the Haunted Mansion. Anyway. So let's see. So you guys did, so we'll go back around to me for number 3 then.
This is part where we take off our headsets and just leave.
Yes.
That's how much he doesn't like Disney, people. He hasn't seen all the stuff he could have, and he just completely takes the heads off and leaves when people are talking about Disney. Never trust this guy to speak Disney again. Only listen to the people with the awards. The people with the awards are worth listening to.
You're an asshole. Anyway. And we already went over this. My number 3 is Hook from Once Upon a Time. Because he's cool. And I like that they give, okay, they didn't, there's been that twist of, Hook was the good guy and Pam was the bad guy before. They've done that in other things. But they did it really well here, and I like that they really developed Hook's backstory as...
The original Peter Pan was the villain.
Really?
Yes.
The original Peter Pan, when it was first created, Peter Pan was the villain. Then when they introduced Hook later on, They did so because they found, and then they made Peter Pan a likable character in doing so. But Peter Pan was originally a villain.
Okay. Fair enough.
The more you know.
Apparently. But anyway, yeah, I like that they delved into Hook's backstory and showed that he was really a good man to start, and he was pushed into his life of villainy because of a series of events between losing his brother and getting screwed over by the world repeatedly. So I like to get the backstory that he was and of course his redemption arc where he was able to come to terms with his past, redeem himself, and end up with the savior, Emma. So really just a great job, and Colin O'Donoghue does an amazing job portraying him. And luckily, he is one of the characters returning for the semi-rebooted season 7. So I look forward to seeing what they're doing with him there.
That'll totally be a plus on his career.
And
totally not a decision he'll regret later.
It's worth noting, season 7 has released a clip of him, which is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
He's in the real world, sat down, all in shadows, so you can't see his face. His hook's now a metal hand, and he's stroking a cat.
He's not Dr. Claw!
That was a Disney film. They've officially tied it together.
Yes, sadly, that was a Disney film. Anyway.
Don't say sadly. We've still got number 2 and 1 to go yet, Jim.
Yes. But
So
yes,
no
Hook,
one have that.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, but Hook for Once Upon a Time, great character and really well done job of making a villain, having him to be a villain originally when he was working for Core, and then being able to redeem him and make him a sympathetic and great, enjoyable character. Hook.
Yep. Well, to be fair, when he was working for her, he was never a flat-out villain.
True.
He stated from the very beginning, like he was just trying to betray her because all he wants to do is just fucking get the crocodile.
Yeah, that's true. And you can't really blame him.
Yeah.
I blame him.
Mole, take it around to number 2.
Number 2. From Once Upon a Time, the Evil Queen.
Nice.
Because, yeah, she had a great arc, but this is more for season 1 and 2. After season 3 onwards, the whole show turns to shit, and her character just isn't as good. But season 1 and 2, Regina was fucking wonderful when she was going to war with Emma and stuff. It was fun.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong, I like that she got redeemed, but she got redeemed just so they could fridge Robin Hood.
Yeah.
Come on. But yeah, the Evil Queen, season 1 and 2.
Woo.
Yeah.
Also known as Regina.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
See, I kept that short and to the point.
You did.
But
Stacey.
I will also say,
yeah.
And second of all,
it's a wrestler guy.
It's an in-joke, Pew. I'll explain it to you later.
It's great that that's actually the gif, and it's just the awkward silence as he's looking up at him with. Why?
Yep. Pew number 2.
Okay, my number 2 is Hades from Once Upon a Time.
Fuck Hades.
I liked Hades, kind of. Like
Hades was acted brilliantly.
Yeah, like I really liked him. Like the way he just as him portraying Hades, like I'm thinking like the Disney Hades, like they were like really simple. He's like the schmoozer and like the deal maker, and he even wants to like fall in love, and he did this whole thing and made the whole underworld just because he loves someone, and it was sweet. Yeah. And he's like a cool because Hades is one of my favorite villains from Disney movies, and they really he's really cool. I liked him.
Yeah, but his motivations really didn't make a whole lot of sense. And okay, the love thing, fair enough, but it's like they come down and he's like, I want you to leave my underworld. You're bringing in contraband hope. The best way to do that is for me to bind you to Tombstone so you can't leave.
Okay, I'm not going to say his motives made sense, okay? Or that's writing, okay? He personally, was great.
Season 5 didn't make any bit of sense, but to be fair, there's been stuff that like Hook and Regina have done that make no fucking sense.
That's true, too.
Like, I'll say the writing, but his acting.
Like, for example, the whole thing with Regina, if she'd just been nice to Emma at the door, instead Emma would have left because she showed up to return her child.
Yeah.
And all Regina had to do is go, thank you. Oh, I love you, Henry. And Emma would have left. Instead, she was basically like, look how evil I am and how I'm probably mistreating your child, which makes her stay and breaks the curse. It's stupid.
Yeah.
And I would say Hook's logic kind of makes sense because they brought hope. And then he bound them there forever to destroy their hope. Thus, they would become basically trophies to all the people in there, not to fuck with Hades. It's like the old days when you used to put a head on the spike.
Yeah.
Ah, that actually makes sense. I never thought of it that way.
Or what Simon called Monday night.
Right.
Except the spike was inside him.
Yep. He was given head to a spike. Speaking of giving a head to a spike, over to Jim.
He wishes he could give head to Spike, but that's Buffy's job. Anyway, so yeah, that's definitely an interesting choice. Like I always thought that he wasn't that good. I mean, he's not a bad actor. I just thought he was not quite a good fit for Hades. But fair enough.
I thought he was fucking perfect for Hades.
All right. So.
And way better than what they did to him in the fucking Kingdom Hearts game. Because fuck those Colosseum missions. I fucking hate going to the Colosseum every time.
Yeah.
Even when they try and make it a level, I hate it. Because they somehow make it a terrible level.
Fair enough.
If I could make the villains, it would still be Huey, Dewey, and Louie for making my Kingdom Hearts game unplayable.
Ah.
For me, it'd be Square Enix for making Kingdom Hearts.
Ah.
Does Sephiroth count?
Huh. There you go.
Sorry, I didn't want to give away your number 2, Jim.
No. Anyway, so moving along.
Yes.
Number 2, I mentioned a little bit earlier, Maleficent from Kingdom Keepers.
Not the Angelina Jolie one?
No, she was okay, but I don't know. I mean, she acted it well, but it wasn't written well.
As opposed to, and I'm looking at what book you're showing.
Touche.
I will say I have read one of them.
Have you?
I read the first one.
What'd you think?
I got like halfway through and just was like, no, this is terrible. I can't finish this book.
You gotta be doing one. Wait a minute. This is a book. What the hell am I doing?
No, he reads books. Comics are books.
Yep. I read books.
That's true.
Hell, I was the one who told you to do the WWE Top 10 book.
Coming soon.
Coming soon. With an award.
Uh-huh.
Ooh, you just got top, Jim.
Apparently.
So, what do you like about Kingdom Keepers Maleficent? What did she do different?
Well, number one,
She became a skeleton husk at the end. Didn't you hear earlier?
Well, yeah, there was that. That was terrifying. But besides that, Maleficent is kind of the driving force villain through the whole franchise. It's just she's the first villain that appears in the first book and is the only villain for the majority of the book. Most of the stuff she brings to life to attack them is more minor stuff that's not all that super relevant. But she's really the main villain, and they really do an interesting job of having her be a threat and just showing her through these kids' eyes how terrifying this woman is. Through a combination of, the standard like Maleficent powers, like she could throw fireballs at him and that stuff, but also the way she just manipulates all the events. Like she seems to be like always several steps ahead of them, in that it's through Maleficent they originally discovered that the Overtakers can manipulate events in the real world, not just within the parks. Like when they're outside the park one time and there's like this car pulls up and like Maleficent's actually in the back seat of the car and just like and picks up the girl that one of the they call them the OTKs, the Overtaker kids, who her name was Jezebel at the time, but once they saved her from Maleficent's spell, she was Jess. She became an ally. But anyway, just the fact that she was, moving around the real world and understood and was manipulating events made her all the more terrifying because she had her magic powers, but also understood how everything around was working, not just within the parks. She understood the concept of the outside world and how it all went down, which was really impressive in terms of her ability to actually be a threat.
Like she had to rent a car, and provide like insurance. She had to have history, and then she had to go Google child snatchers, how to, and then she had to drive up and pass her license, get that, come back in, all to snatch this one girl.
Well, she was in the back of the car. She had a chauffeur.
To be fair, it's explained in, I think it's book 6, where it's actually revealed the main villain the whole time has been Bill Nye from that Ellen DeGenerate ride.
They closed that down. Anyway.
Not before the book was written.
No. But yeah, and they do a good job of how much these kids are terrified of her, because there's a point where, like, the first time she throws fireballs at them, one of them gets hurt. It's when they discover that if they get hurt while in their hologram forms in the park, their physical bodies sleeping in their beds will have those injuries when they wake up. So it's kind of a terrible thing. One of them gets hit by a fireball and has a burn when he wakes up, and they realize that. And also, but they also give Maleficent an interesting combination weakness and alert system, which is kind of neat. And that some reason,
I believe in media and stuff, whenever something like that happens, you're meant to refer to it as an FKS.
Okay.
Freddy Krueger syndrome.
Ah, gotcha. And anyway, and they also give the fact that Maleficent, for reasons that are not totally explained, is that for some reason Maleficent, for whatever reason, has to stay cold. They don't explain why that is. I can only assume it might have something to do with the fact that dragon breathes fire. Maybe it overheats her if she doesn't stay cold. That's the only thing I can think of.
Because if she doesn't stay cold, she goes off like milk.
You know why she has to stay cold? Because she's chilling like a villain.
That too. But anyway, so there's always a section is whenever the kingdom keeps looking around and they feel
she's so evil. She has a cold heart, and if they take her outside of the cold, it would kill her. Essentially, like Mr. Freeze. Or she's a dinosaur, and they went to the Ice Age.
Yeah. No one killed the dinosaurs. The Ice Age.
I covered that.
You did. Chill.
Award.
Anyway, Maleficent it's really well done as a threat like that, because she has to be cold all the time. The Kingdom Keepers and cold seems to also follow her around to some extent. So whenever they feel a shiver and feel cold, they're like, "Oh God, they know Maleficent's here, and there's going to be a threat." Because like I said, she throws fireballs at him. She can some telekinesis move crap around. Like she's incredibly terrifying with these abilities and seeming to always know what they're doing and how they're doing it and being ahead of them. So they really portray her as this huge threat. She's actually only second in command of the Kingdom Keepers, but she's mostly the leader because Chernobog is in hibernation for most of the series. He only comes around.
You know what she should do? She should throw her fireballs all around like the atmosphere just to warm it up, so they don't have an alarm system to get her near there.
To be fair, magic does produce cold. I have on very good authority that in Las Vegas, whenever Penn and Teller perform, they don't need to turn the AC on at all. Fact.
Okay.
I don't even know if that is a fact.
Who knows?
I don't.
I doubt it.
Probably not.
He looks like a big sweaty guy.
He does.
I do.
But yeah, so between that, because Maleficent always kept cold, they kind of know when she's coming. But they can also use it as a weakness, because if they can manage to, lure Maleficent away or get her in a situation where they manage to shut down whatever's keeping her cold, it weakens her powers and it gives them an advantage in fights. So it's really an interesting.
It also logically means that in order to find Maleficent or to stop her easily, they just need to pop on heat-sensitive goggles like the military have in our days and have done for years, and just track cold patterns.
That would work too.
Oh, did they not do that?
No, they don't have access. You would think because you had.
Could get a heat lamp and scare her away, and she goes, "Oh no!" and she runs away when you stick a fan at her.
Those goggles are available. Like, you can have the same technology built into a phone. Those goggles are available really easily, a lot more than child creating hologram technology is.
This is true. But anyway, Maleficent is just made incredibly terrifying, and the fact that every time they think they've defeated her, she manages to come back with either, more followers, more this, more that, whatever it is. It always seems to have a new plan. And, really through the eyes of these kids who are like 13 when this whole thing starts out, we really see the terror that she inspires as being the head of the Overtakers for all intents and purposes. And they do a really good job with that. And it really comes back when, like I said, at the end of the original series, she is defeated. She dies in a cave-in. And
Tim's about Disney, right?
What? Yeah, pretty much. She dies in a cave-in, and of course, Teodala manages to she dies in a cave-in, and there's like other stuff going on, and Teodala manages to get like some of her bones and stuff from the cave, and that's what she uses to bring her back. And so it's really kind of this they really bring it home at the end of the last book, this book right here, the Return Book 3, where she has, fully come, in the first book of the Return, she actually is resurrected, and we see that terror again, that she's back. And then in the last book, where she is basically the final villain again, because she was the backup plan because most of the Overtakers were defeated, there was a backup plan to use children with powers that happen to exist. It's a thing, don't ask.
Yeah, but you liked how Maleficent was portrayed.
She was portrayed as being a really big threat and really evil, which I think was well done. And also, like, they gave her that unique weakness, and that unique cold thing was kind of cool. No pun intended, because they were able to use that for plot effect, and it was a weakness, but she was still a massive threat, and you see her manipulating the real world, that being the one overtaker that seems aware of what's going on and not just thinks that the park is the boundaries of the world like a lot of the characters do. So she was just a really big threat, and it was really great to see the way she was done.
Why didn't they just stop being selfish and wanting adventures and just pop her in the Arctic and help global warming?
You would think.
Unless Disney also believes global warming is a myth, in which case, would they be Trump supporters? And that means everything Jim's backing is backing Trump. Which one?
No. We're not that bad. Disney only supported Nazis. He didn't support Trump.
Nazis were worse. They actually killed people.
He didn't say he didn't like Nazis.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's not belittle the deaths of all the Jews to say that a guy with bad hair who slightly insults people's sensitivities is worse.
Fair enough. But yes, Maleficent from Kingdom Keepers. And just a great portrayal as being a threat. And even though she had limited power, she was always omnipresent. It was more her plotting abilities and her knowledge and just intelligence. It was even more of a threat than her abilities. And the combined the two together were just so good. So,
which is why I argue they should use Scar in those roles. God damn it,
they should, because he's like the king of manipulating Disney villains. His brain was his primary weapon.
Yeah, that's that was all he had, because he was weak in fights. Maleficent's plan was kind of shit in the film of put in a coma, surrounded by some weeds, and pray for the best.
Yeah. Scar even said when it came to brains, I got the lion's share, but unfortunately, when it came to physical strength, I'm at the shallow end of the gene pool.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so who's yours, Mo?
I did my number 2.
Oh, it's back to me again.
Yeah, now it's back to number 1.
Yep, now it's my number 1.
Oh,
let's bring it home, people.
Prediction, Jim. And I'm not going to press the button to change the picture. I wanted to see if Jim would get this.
Number 1. Tough call. I don't know.
Is it another weird tank thing?
I would have said Scar Tank, but you already used that. Oh yeah, Zurg, of course.
Animated Zurg, because he was wonderful, and he did come after the film. Before people think that the film was in 1990, this was 2000, and in Buzz Lightyear Star Commander cartoon, he's a very different character. To put this in terms that Jim would understand, of his limited intellect, in the film, he's basically Darth Vader.
Mm.
In the cartoon show, he's Lord Zed after marriage. I.e., he's a very comical villain. Like, everything around him goes wrong, and everything he plans just blows up in his face. And he's just wonderful. He chews the scenery and he just has fun with it. He's fucking wonderful. I love animated Zurg.
Sounds like failure, Simon.
You didn't need to add failure in front of that.
Just redundant.
Yeah, exactly.
That's nice.
I'm sorry, Simon's not a failure. I'm sure he's successful at
nursing.
He's successful at something.
Is that what he does, nursing?
I think he nurses. Like babies with his breasts or something. Oh, is that not what you meant?
No, but yes, he is in patient care for elderly people.
Yeah, like a nurse.
Allegedly.
Mm-hmm.
No. Okay, let's come up with lists of what Simon doesn't suck at.
And second of all...
Okay, we had nothing. Sorry, Simon. He doesn't watch this.
He doesn't. Pew, number 1.
Said no one ever.
I liked LeFou from the Beauty and the Beast movie. How he was a villain, but then he's like, I don't know. I thought it was quite a weak, because he was weakly a villain. He was kind of not a villain. He was kind of just a tag along with the main villain, but then he turned around. It was actually, good at the end. So it was cool because he had development, so not that he needed it or his character needed it, but it was cool to see. And I don't really give a shit about him being gay or anything. I don't like that. It's fine, whatever. Who cares?
No, because in the movie it was just he was the bumbling fool, but in this one they actually built him up that he actually knew that a lot of what Gaston was doing was wrong as he got a little more and more obsessed with Belle, but he didn't initially wasn't able to stand up to him, but then he kind of did at the end, and that was neat.
Yeah, I like he was cool, and he was like I liked how they had like the hot cold thing with him. Like he was the intelligent one, and he was the strong one, and how like that's why he fell into that kind of thing because like people just tend to feel people who mesh, and so I liked his whole character, and that was really interesting. And I thought like he took an otherwise like comic side character and turned it into him, so that was really cool.
Yep. Fair enough.
Now it's over to Jim.
Or Jim. And mine was already talked about, so I'll keep this brief.
Ha! There's a lie.
I gave her to Regina, the evil queen, because I like Once Upon a Time. And they've done so much with this character.
What?
What?
You gave the list of your favorite things to something you like? What? That's crazy. Why would you have to stress that?
I know.
You're trying to somehow justify the fact it's a shit show and you feel like you have to defend it. That'd be weird.
The last few seasons have been a shit show, but it didn't start that way.
Yeah, the last what season are we on now? 7? So the last
7 is starting, yeah.
The last 5 seasons have been shit.
I don't know. I think it was okay up to the end of 4, and then 5 and 6 were shit.
We both, all of us, ripped apart number 3 with Pan and Neverland and shit.
The Pan half was shit, but the Zelina half was good. So,
which means half of it was shit.
Yeah.
If you shit in a glass and then half gets filled, you've still got a glass of shit.
Like the Frozen one was good, but then the half of the other whatever the extra half of Frozen was shit, but Frozen part was good.
The other half was I rumble with a heart problem and I have 3 random villainesses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The villain, the Frozen part was fucking awesome. Has a better villain than actual Frozen. And the villainesses part was weird. The only part I liked about that was Cruella. The rest of it was just like, really? Oh, we're going to team up all these villains you've never seen previous seasons, so the team up means nothing.
Well, we had seen Maleficent.
Not properly. We saw it for like one scene. It wasn't like... It's like... For the style they made the team up sound, they made it sound like... How can I word this for Jim? Countdown to Destruction, where a load of Power Ranger villains teamed up. And you're like, oh my god, I recognize these in the previous seasons. That's how huge these stakes are.
Right. Yeah, we only saw Maleficent briefly when Regina interacted with her in a couple of scenes.
Remember you saw Ursula through a mask or something, or like through a pot or something? Remember that?
Kind of.
That one. Here's the thing. Well, the thing of all this, they never. That's one of the biggest.
Because I believe that was one of them was Regina pretending to be her, and the second one was the goddess. Ursula, who when they brought Ursula in with her backstory, they changed it so she's no longer a goddess. Thus, it's a different Ursula. So it's like 3 fucking Ursulas.
Yeah, actually, she kind of is though, because
it's almost as convoluted as fucking Kingdom Hearts with the main villain from 1 and all his various versions, like a fucking Russian doll where you take him apart and there's all these other variants, and each one is more bland than the last.
Yeah.
Yeah, but what was I going to say?
Ursula.
Ursula, right. Yeah, I technically she was, even the last Ursula was still a goddess of God because her father was Poseidon. So she would have been at least a demigoddess.
At least a demigod, but they didn't say he was a god at that point. They made a point of not really saying they were a god.
He's kind of just a ruler of the land.
He was basically Aquaman. They basically took Ariel's story, gave it to Ursula for some unexplored reason.
Yeah, they did do that.
Which is weird because Ariel wasn't played bad. I kind of liked Ariel in this.
No, Ariel was good. She was a lot of fun.
She was definitely part of this world.
Totally.
Oh, I see what I did there.
Okay.
I don't get it.
I just got a call for dinner, so let's wrap it up.
Fair enough. So, yes, Regina is just so well done. Giving a backstory for why the Evil Queen hated Snow White, not just she's prettier than me. They kind of explained it, why she had a grudge regarding the loss of her true love, Daniel. and just developing her as such an amazing villain in the first 2 seasons, and then having her go through her redemption arc of realizing the horrible things that she's done and trying to work to make amends for that to become a hero. And they did a really great job with that and brought that all around. And they even really bookmarked it well in the finale of season 6 when the dwarves actually painted, Regina Mills' queen on her door, showing that even her staunchest opposers, which had always been grumpy in the dwarves, had accepted her as their queen. And I thought that was really cool that they did that.
Although, to be fair, that was kind of bullshit.
You think so?
They spent all of season 6 believing the evil queen was definitely her, and that she'd gone back to her evil ways. And then the second at the end, when they suddenly say, "Oh no, she hadn't," and she goes, "No, she's part of me," they go, "No, we accept you now." And like, you just spent the last few years saying she's never been redeemed and hating her. Fuck off.
Yeah, they also went out of our way. We shown and see how Regina has grown.
No, we did. I'm not talking about the characters around her.
Right, fair enough.
For example, like people know I love the Vampire Diaries. One thing that pissed me off constantly in years is after season 3 onwards, too many people still always saw the worst in Damon. It's like, come on, he even died at one point to save people, and they're still like, nah, not good enough for us. He's evil. He's the bad brother. But the one who feeds on us with lust, he's the good brother.
I'm just charging my phone before it dies.
So I guess if he's a good brother, then the rest of them are all nerds.
Yeah, no, which is weird because obviously the concept was they weren't good and bad brothers; they were equally grayish brothers. If that makes sense,
Right.
like it's not all black and
Like
white.
they have like good and bad in both of them in different ways.
Which we saw, but the characters around them didn't. And that pissed a lot of people, including myself, off. Like when you're at the end of the season and they're still thinking he's exactly the same as he was in season 1, something's gone wrong.
That's true. But yes, overall, Regina just a really enjoyable character. Seeing the redemption arc.
Sorry, I was gonna say, which I argue is worse in Once Upon a Time.
Okay.
Only because, how many times has Mr. Gold become evil again?
4, I think.
4 or 5. Each time he suddenly becomes good, people start forgiving him like fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Just so they can build up the, he betrayed us again. What?
Oh, see, I haven't. I never.
Curse is sudden and inevitable betrayal.
No, I stopped forgiving him a while ago.
No, we did, but I'm not about the characters around them.
Okay.
Like Regina has struggles, actually gets redeemed, and they don't forgive her. Rumpel constantly turns back to evil, and the second he goes good again, so many people start believing him, just so they can get the shock when he turns evil. But it makes him look so hypocritical because it's like, poor Regina, come on.
It does.
Anyway, that was our top 5.
Yes, that's Regina my number 1, and that was
that's crazy.
Yeah, that was our top 5 alternate Disney villains. Always a lot of fun to do this. Thank you guys for joining me.
And make sure to join us next month for the top 5 Dr. Claw Inspector Gadget movie moments.
No.
Yes. Yes.
No, we will not.
I take most suggestions more seriously.
No, I shouldn't. I should never do that.
My favorite moment from Dr. Claw from the Inspector Gadget movie was when he gave Charlotte a paper baby. Boom. If Simon does watch this, that joke's for him.
I get the joke. He played one of Charlotte's boyfriends in Sex and the City.
Yes, but you only get that joke because I mentioned to you he played it, but not the how horrible that paper baby moment was.
Fair enough.
He literally couldn't give her baby something she wanted all her life. Then, in front of all of her friends, goes, "It's okay, I'm going to make it up to you. Look, here's a baby," and gives her a cardboard cutout of a little baby. It's like, it's a cardboard baby. It's a joke. And everyone just looks at him like he's the biggest shit going.
Yeah.
Which he was, because he was a fucking dick.
Sounds like it.
God, I miss Sex and the City.
But then she got a baby anyway from a guy who has no lines.
Sex and the City, all the TV shows, and the first film are fucking awesome. Second film, ignore it.
Fair enough.
See you next time.
Yep. We'll see you next month, where we're going to be counting down the top 5 villain defeats
Kind of like Regina's defeats. That wasn't my
Do
fault.
I hear? Do I hear a big cheer for or a big future cheer for Cliff and insert Disney villain here?
Only if it's Scar, because I like the fact he got the fuck back up after falling off a cliff and then gets eaten by hyenas.
Yep.
Scar does not get enough credit as being the baddest Disney villain ever.
He does not. He does not. But anyway, we'll see you next time, folks. Peace.